Greetings folks, Pockets here, back again playing some more EVE Online. Today I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to do a post-action review of a fleet I was on last night. Pretty excited about this one. It's the first major ops since I've been able to fly a guard. So I get to fly Logi for the first time ever in this video, so I hope you enjoy it. We are about to leave into warp to get on grid with the target. So what we're doing is we're hitting an Astra house and we're doing the armor timer. So it's the second of 3 timers. The shield timer having been done the day before, which I didn't make it to. So here we are warping. I'm sort of getting preliminary things set up. We get the call at this point for preliminary orders. So anchor up on your anchor and cap chains for Logi and all that sort of stuff. We're about to land. We're a couple AU out here. So when we first land, all the targets were tethered to the Citadel, so we couldn't really engage much. So I get my cap chain up, and we get the Logi anchor followed, and we just sort of wait to see what happens. So here we go, landing on grid. And I'll try to sort of explain what's going on from my point of view, keeping in mind this is my first time as a Logi. And a lot of things happen that I didn't quite understand until after. They're calling up for drugs. I don't know how useful they are for me, but I take them anyway because it's only a couple mil. I imagine they help a little bit. So there I am locking up my cap chain targets. So capacitor transfer is a cool mechanic where you set up a chain and you give more capacitor than you use. So if you set up a chain like that, you actually get a net positive capacitor recharge. So it allows us to run our reppers longer without losing cap. So anchors up, you can see the purple triangles going up from the fleet. That's all the Logi getting into range. I'm in there. And the Macarials and the Typhoons and the other support stuff are going to start orbiting the Citadel. You can see the little X's, those are all drones. I still haven't pulled my drones because I was focused so hard on what I'm doing. But here you can see I'm grouping them. I tried to pull them out there, and they didn't go. I had thought they did. And it takes me a minute to realize my drones aren't actually doing anything. But cap chain's up. I'm watching on the broadcast, the fleet window on the left, to look for people needing broadcasting armor. Those are the ones I care about. Here I am putting them in a group to make them easier to control, and then I forget to actually launch them, because I'm awesome. So at this time we find a Balgorn that is not actually tethered to the Citadel. So the DPS, the Macarials and stuff engage him. You can see the guns firing there. So drones are currently on the Citadel, guns are on the Balgorn. I look at my drones and then don't launch them. So obviously lots of room to improvement, but again, my first time, so this is good stuff. So we're just listening to comms and giving updates on targets. Balgorn's down. There's an Astartes that's not tethered. Right there, Eternal Rain. So they lock him up and start shooting. There go the guns. Chad's APOC Navy is now lockable, so they lock him up. There's someone broadcasted for armor. He's in half shield, so I put 1 repper on him just in case he hits armor, just to have it going. But I believe that at this point it becomes unnecessary, so he's not taking damage anymore. Most of the enemies are still tethered. So now there's another Balgorn. I'm trying to lock it up. I'm maybe too far away now to see any guns. 7-3 went down. Frostbane, the APOC Navy is next. He's untethered for some reason. And again, just keeping an eye on the broadcast to see for armor. At one point later, I get told that you can actually filter it. I didn't know that, so you'll see me adjust that after here in a few minutes in. Calling to make sure anchor. There's some people falling behind. So one of the Macs is... a small group of Macs are falling behind. If you look here, I'm keeping at range, so I'm tethered, I'm anchored. So things do speed up here. This is sort of all the preliminary stuff, posturing. I do promise at some point I remember to put my drones out. So at this point the fleet's going to turn around and catch up, let the stragglers catch up. Everything's still tethered, so at this point we're just sort of waiting to see what happens while we grind down the armor on the Citadel. So now the heavy interdictors are we're starting to move everything in towards the Citadel. They've asked for Logi to make sure they're in range of the interdictors, so they saw something on intel coming in, but to find out what it is. The call reminded me I pulled my drones out and actually made it this time, and assigned them to attack. There we go. Not sure why I didn't deploy the 2 times I tried, but it worked. So we're expecting them to untether here momentarily as 2 force auxiliaries, 1 or 2 force auxiliaries at this point, have just landed on the Citadel. Yeah, so there's 1, and another one should land momentarily. So we figure that's showing that they're going to actually fight us. There's the other apostle. So that's what they caught on the intel channels, or scouts saw them coming in. Still waiting for them to break tether. I was double checking my scram chain to make sure I had the right people. 1 up, 1 down. You can't see it because the chat is blurred, but it was there. So someone else is falling behind. They're calling them to catch up. We got to keep them close once they get out of range. At any minute now they're going to break and engage. So right now they're talking about ideas on how we can get these guys to engage us, or if we can maybe bump one of the force auxiliaries off the tether and... A little close-up of us following the damnation there. I'm in that mess making glow. That's some good stuff, look at that. Okay, so we're just checking scouts and stuff, see if anything else is coming, and at this point we're just going to sit back and let our drones grind away at the Astra House. So I took the opportunity to get some shots without the UI in the way. So it's at this point we discover that one or two of our materials are micro warp drive fit, so we send them in to bump the faxes here in about 2 minutes. We're hoping that by being annoying that they're going to break tether and engage us. So we're here for a fight, we don't want to just kill the Citadel, right? And at this point you can see we're hitting zeros on the Citadel in the damage, the green number is there. It means we're hitting damage cap. Which is good, that's where you want it. You're doing the maximum damage possible to it. Here's me fixing my filter so I don't see all the target calling, because that gets really important later when the fight actually starts, and we will get a fight. So here we are 10 minutes later, and a crow has come on and is attempting to light a Sino. FC orders the Macarials to try to take him down. And traversal's too high, they can't hit him. Order goes out to start pulling the Macarials away from the crow so we can get as far from the Sino as possible. We can see carriers entering the field on the map. That's the triangles, or the diamonds, I apologize. And he calls for dreads and triage to make the jump and our own Sino to be lit. And we begin starting to take out fighters with Macarials. At this point, we go on alert to make sure our Macarials stay up. You can see broadcasts going out. And we start locking them up and putting reps. So I catch Stan at about half armor before my reps hit, because they hit at the end of the cycle. And we can see him now going back up. It was very exciting at this point. This whole middle piece is several minutes of the actual fight where I was very busy clicking and trying to keep things in order. And the whole time listening to the FC call targets, but I'm basically ignoring that entirely and just focusing on repping armor. Fighters are still on the Citadel. It hasn't been reinforced yet. And away we go. At this point, our dreads are on the field, so the caps, they start shooting our capital ships, so all the sub-caps get pretty well ignored at this point. You can see we're having no problems keeping armor topped up. Every so often, someone like Dringo will start taking hits, probably from fighters, so we just keep them in the red, or out of the red. Keeping the history clear to make sure I'm getting new targets. There's Alexia. Took me a minute to notice it. There we go. There we go. Star Act being kept up. And yeah, that's the whole fight. It was, in my opinion, a lot more interactive. I mean, I've done the Macarial fighting. Well, I never actually shot the guns on my Macarial, but I've had it out. I've done others, Hurricanes. And while it's interesting following the change in primaries and turning guns on and off, there was a lot more to do as far as the Logi was concerned, and I really, really enjoyed it. And so we just maintain. I've got all my reps turned off. I'm watching these guys. You can see their shields are still, and the one guy's still dropping, coming back. But nobody's taking any armor hits, so I just let it sit. So Fallen calls for reps, so I lock him up and get ready. This one Stan starts taking armor, so I put a rep on him. For some reason Fallen didn't lock, but someone else called him, so I let him sit. Or do I also see up in my watch list that someone's taking damage but hasn't broadcasted it, but I grab him anyway. And it's at this point where I start trying to get reps on this hick, and it's not working. So I'm spamming it furiously, and it's not. Oh, it took. So I kept doing that. I kept spamming it until it took, and hoping that it'd be enough. But then you'll see it in a little bit. He'll actually point somebody, and the rep will go away. It's very exciting and just furious. The comms are just yelling at this point. I mean, they're controlled, but they're constant instructions flying back and forth. I just focused on my job. So Stan's taking damage again, but I think one of the other Logis on him. No, I grab him. That's right. I'm trying to put refs back on the hicks, but you can see the message popping up, and I didn't know that was a thing. So I'm asking down in chat, in the Logi chat, what's going on, and oh, it's fun. So now I've got two hicks I'm furiously trying to apply reps to, and it's just not working. He's at almost half armor and I can't get my reps on him. There's where they're trying to pin down the Vendetta. I can hear them on comms. Oso's going down and there's nothing I can do because, well, he's pointing, I guess. I've got other Logis now asking why they can't target Oso. So everybody's trying to heal these Hicks. But hey, you know what? They're hero tackles. We just got the call, see all those supers, go get them Hicks. So just target and tie down whatever you can. So Silver at this point broadcast, he was being yellow boxed, but I don't think he ever actually takes damage, which is good. So at this point it finds out that they're calling NC for backups, so we're getting ready to extract if we need to. So we're trying to get any points off any of our capitals. So at this point the Vendetta is taking heavy hits, it's going to go down. Only 3 have been lost. If we do take this one down, it will be number 4. I had wanted to get better angles on the camera, but I was very focused on what I was doing. I'm assuming as I do more of this, I will get better. So there's Oso, he's going down, we can't get him, because he's not letting go of his point. So it looks like Oso got rep, probably one of the other guys. Other Logi. That's good. At this point, they're not targeting our Macarials, they're worrying about our Dreadnoughts. So you can see on the overview, everything left on the field for enemies is capitals. There's a Leaf, Moros. Oh, there's a Vindicator up near the top. So most of their subcaps have left and it's all capitals. So at this point, everything from my point of view is very quiet. It's just the Dread sort of cleaning up, fighting. So it's all the capital triage and Dreadnoughts fighting the remaining caps on the field. So this is a few minutes later, we have still not seen NC, so the FC decides that we're going to stay and fight and clean up whatever capital ships we can before they leave. So we stay and fight. There's a couple more reps going on. Looks like they're starting to switch to Macarials and trying to burn off our Hicks. So we keep them up as long as we can. So there's Cheaper Than Dirt. I'm trying to rep him, but again, he's got his point on, so it's not letting me. Most of us didn't know about the point thing. We obviously now know. So at this point it becomes very much a cap battle. The subcaps don't do a whole lot. The heavy interdictors are keeping caps tied down. We're trying to keep them up as best we can. And it just winds down from there. Eventually Shadow Cartel leaves the grid and we stay and loot. I get some good footage of some of the wrecks and then we go home. So all in all, it was a pretty good fleet. It was very exciting. I'm so glad I made it. Flying Logi was definitely a very different experience. It was very busy, and I enjoyed that a lot. So I'll probably be flying a lot more in the future. Probably my main focus as the fleets, and from there. I didn't get on any of the kill mails, which is unfortunate. I would have loved to get on that Vendetta kill, as there's now been 4 destroyed. Would have been cool to have been on one, but As I get better at the Logi, I'll be able to multitask more and use my drones to maybe get on some of that kill mail stuff. Other than that, had a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think and if you'd like to see more of this sort of thing. And we'll be back next time, probably with some more solo stuff. Until then, folks, undock and shoot something. Tell me about your EVE adventures in the comments down below.